Hello and welcome to the Academy Podcast, episode 6. This is part 1 of a part 2 special, as it's the last one today. We've got quite a lot of people in the studio today, so reintroducing Miss Karen Vanderhoeven.
Nobody calls me Karen. Only my dad, when he's telling me off, I've explained this to you, you can call me Kay.
Kay.
Pipe down, Karen.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Sorry, Dad.
Mr. Reece Mortimer.
Hello.
Mr. Robert Field.
Hello.
Miss Eva Jenkinson.
Hello.
Paul can stop going on at me now. And co-presenter Charlie Thorogood.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio, everyone.
Hello, thank you.
So this is sort of an ending to the current Year 13's 2 years here. So there's 7 questions for each of the teachers to answer.
Cool.
There's 4 of you. We might be here. Might be here a while. Should we just get straight into it, or do you want to introduce yourselves first? Because that is the first question: is who you are, and what you do. I think we already know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Queen of the Universe, obviously, but also I teach Year 13, Year 12 BTEC. I'm head of faculty, and yeah, but essentially I'm a drama teacher. That's my passion.
Me?
Mr. Mortimer.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Mortimer, freestyler, free runner. In my spare time, I'm a Year 12 academic learning mentor.
In your spare time?
Yeah. Apart from that, I'm a free runner, freestyler, free spirit.
Yoga instructor.
Mr. Field, you was on episode 2. You were, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. You keep correcting my grammar.
Yeah.
Punk rocker.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, lead music teacher for music technology and music sixth form. Yeah.
And Miss Jenkinson.
Yeah, I don't have a witty reply to this. Just careers.
I won't call mine witty.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, careers and higher education advisor for sixth form and
Babysitter,
agony aunt, yeah, you name it.
A what?
Agony aunt.
Agony.
Yeah,
it's what
all the
people
agony.
That's what people call somebody who goes who has people who go and tell them their troubles and.
Oh right.
Yeah.
A bit like you then.
Yeah.
Like an unqualified counsellor.
Yeah.
Though I wouldn't say agony aunt, I'd say
Yeah.
counsellor.
So this
agony
is
grandma.
Yes, this is where he calls me a grandmother again.
Right.
I'm so old. I'm like a grandmother.
Wouldn't advise.
And Charlie?
Well,
RAF.
no, I'm not in the RF. I'm not in the RF yet, am I?
But he did do a lot of walking. Bless him.
I don't know how you managed to get 10,000 steps a day.
No, but he did
No, I
80k.
did 80 kilometres in 2 days.
Not that he's talked about it or whined about it in any capacity in any lesson.
So have I?
not in mine, but
No, okay, then.
I just don't.
You may
Or
have
you might have
mentioned
done. I just don't listen.
You may have mentioned it in mine and moaned.
Yeah.
So this next question is for everyone. Well, they're all for everyone. What has been your experience working at the Glassworks?
Just the experience.
Yeah. What's it been like?
The Glassworks, or are you talking specifically about the Glassworks or about the academy?
Well, they're both intertwined, aren't they? So, or
No,
intertwined.
No, because they're different. They are completely different spaces. The Glassworks has a much kind of mellower feel, doesn't it,
Yes.
to
Yeah,
the
very
main
much so.
site? So it feels like a college, and it feels like a separate space where the students are afforded a bit more responsibility and self-determination, and they are enabled to express themselves a bit more in terms of what they wear and how they behave, I think. And so we're able as teachers to have to spend more time with them. You know, we've got more space here because it's a separate space. We're able to spend more time with them and have these relationships which feel different to Key Stage 4 relationships.
Okay.
So they feel like college relationships. You know, they you know, we don't have the same kind of relationships with the students here that you would do with somebody who's like doing BTEC level 2 or GCSE.
Yeah, I'd say the teacher-student kind of boundary is blurred a lot more at sixth form than what it is. It's very rigid up at the academy because it needs to be.
Yeah.
But here, you know, smaller class numbers, and you know, you guys are more young adults rather than kids. We're supposed to be anyway. So yeah, those kind of things can be afforded to you.
Yeah. So the expectation is higher, that you will go out and independently learn and take more responsibility for your learning. But the payoff for that is that, you know, you see us as humans, hopefully, and we can have a real discussion about things, and you can see us, hopefully, for the first time for some of you, as actual living, breathing people, which I think is a bit of a revelation. You know, what did you say to me the other day? Miss, actually, you're really quite kind.
Oh, you're.
So.
I would have taken it as an insult, being entirely honest.
You take everything as an
No,
insult,
I
Charlie.
that gives you the impression that he didn't think you were kind.
No, but
I think it's just the general idea that all teachers are.
Well, no, it's
robots,
also the general perception is that, and I know this, that the general perception is that I'm quite scary.
But it's rubbish because you're not. Unless you want to be.
She's terrifying, Ben.
So I did. So let it be known that I did teach Mr. Mortimer back in the day. I am that old, and I used to teach Reece, Mr. Mortimer.
It's fine. First name basis is cool.
Back at Channel, because
The Channel School.
Yeah. So I taught. You know, I'm that old. I used to teach at Channel. And that's one of the amazing things at working at this school, and why I love it so much is seeing students come and be a student here, go through that whole academic career.
Because you would have seen Mr. Mortimer since he was.
From zero to hero, Ben.
You've always been a hero.
Thank you.
And so absolutely see the transition, see how he's like grown, and then watch him make his decisions and go his own way, and then come back and decide to give something back to the community, and back to the school, and it's wonderful. And it's also what's great is watching him tackle students using the lines that he used to give me.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seen on both sides now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kind words there.
That's all right.
So you're new, working at the Grassworks, but
Yeah.
you was also a student. What's that like?
At first, well, going to the main building at first was quite difficult because some teachers that were still there still see you as a student. To be fair, they were probably the teachers that gave a bit of a hard time. Fair enough, let it go. But after that, you just kind of adapt, I suppose. You adapt to teaching, and like I said, I think because I went through the same system, it became easier to relate to some students that they're having difficulties in certain areas.
Miss Jenkinson, what's your experience working here? How long have you been working here?
Too long.
No, well, I joined October 2015.
So 2 years then.
Yeah, 2.5 years. And I've had a lovely time, Ben. Really lovely time. Yeah. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
I'll elaborate.
Go on.
Spent 4 months with me, must be up there with the best of times.
The best of times and the worst of times at points, because you are quite a stressful individual.
Oh, is that?
Stress-inducing.
Mr. Mortimer.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
Mr.
an
Mortimer.
understatement, this.
Miss Jenkinson does have to make phone calls to important people for me at times.
Hello, yes, Mr. Mortimer needs to see the doctor. But he's too scared to call you.
Yeah, I'm sort of like Mr. Mortimer's sister, mum,
Sister?
best friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, sorry.
Yeah, lots of different roles.
Well, because you're similar ages, aren't you? And
No, I'm much younger. But, yeah,
you took over from Miss Headley, who unfortunately left last year. How's it been
yeah, fine.
adapting into the role? And
Bit of a roller coaster, if I'm honest. But no, it's fine. Yeah, it's a completely different atmosphere. Like Kate said, obviously, I feel like I could spend more time with individuals because you don't have to behaviour manage as much of the time, which is nice to have chats with people, and also say to them that when I was at their age, I had the same sort of problems going through sixth form, not quite knowing what to do, sometimes causing a bit of chaos. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice being down there.
and Mr. Field.
What's the question? Sorry. My experience of being here.
Yeah, you've been a music technology and performance teacher at the Glassworks for 5 years, is it?
Well, I've been at the academy for 4 years. My first year, I had very, very little to do with the Glassworks, to be honest. It was Mr. Clift and Mr. Dudley Pearson who kind of taught exclusively down here. And then I kind of slowly started coming down here. It's been just this year, really, where I've taught exclusively down
I suppose
here.
it feels like you live here most of the time.
Yeah, well, this is, this room that we're in at the moment is my classroom. Mr. Fullerton teaches in here, an hour and a half a week, and Mr. Coles does an hour and a half a week, and the rest of the time it's me. So yeah, this is kind of my it's our space, but yeah, I guess I'm the one who does it. So yeah, I've really enjoyed having this space to kind of do what I feel I wanted to do with it in terms of getting the best available teaching space for both music and music technology. But yeah, it's been really positive this year. I've really enjoyed specialising in year 12 and year 13 and seeing you guys through and having the amount of university applications that like from year 13 is the highest we've had in music ever.
So it's a success then.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. If you ask me first thing on a Tuesday morning, then might not be as positive as that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this year has gone. Still got the rest of term 5 to go, and then you guys obviously are making your move, and then we can kind of year 12 have got to step into those shoes and try and up there.
Great.
See if they can get as many university applications for music, and even then just seeing what we're going to do after Glassworks. That's the whole point of the Glassworks, really, is to set you up for what's going to happen afterwards.
It's a really exciting time of your life, and what we're doing is we're trying to prepare you for what happens afterwards. It doesn't have to be university; it could just be going into a job role, but it's getting you used to the fact that school is over, and that
We would think that, to be honest.
yeah, and as much as you're really happy about the fact that school is over, when it comes down to it, when the reality really, really hits home of the fact that you're leaving school, it's actually quite scary.
Yeah, I've had
And
quite a few of you in year 13
Yeah.
now. Finally starting to realise that it's all kind of coming to an end because we're in May now. This is your and
Yeah.
the 25th is the deadline for all your work. And a couple of you are going like, I don't want to leave, or I'm really scared about leaving, and
A bit of a bubble, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There will be some remaining next year, but not many.
No, there's 2.
2
Yeah.
out of.
And here, it's annoying. I mean, I'm sure we annoy you because we chase after you and we harass you when you don't hand in your work or whatever, or if I annoy you because you're not doing what I tell you to do, or you're chewing gum or whatever. But it's because we care and we really genuinely want the best for you, it's really true for all of us here. Once you've been through our classrooms, you are always one of our kids, always. And that you can. My relationship with Reece is testament to that. We stayed friends, and there are several people who I've taught that I've stayed really, really good friends with. Because you do, if you've got students in your classroom, you do develop with some of them a really nice relationship with, because you're learning from them as well.
I think especially so in sixth form, as opposed to key stage 4.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
kind of like year 12, 13, when you cross over, and do you know what I mean, you start becoming an adult.
Yeah.
That's when you start building a strong relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's places like this where, you know, people who might not have had the most positive experience at the academy, they can kind of start again. You know, there's various members in both year groups who, you know, probably look back at their behaviour at the academy and thought they could have probably got more of that, or more from that even, if they behaved a bit better, but it doesn't really matter because they've had the opportunity now to do a subject that probably interests them the most, whether that's drama, music, geography, business, whatever, and they can specialise in that. And, you know, we very rarely have massive behavioural issues at the Glassworks, and I think because you can specialise in your passion and because you are treated more like an adult, that's why this building is so important, and it's so important to be separate from the main school as well.
Do you think it's difficult to go through the school years and not have any regret?
I think it's impossible to go through your school years and not have any regret.
I think it's important that you have regrets, because if you don't, then it just means that you've played safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not broken any rules.
Well, yeah. I mean, you
not even just in terms of like behaviour and discipline or academia, but also in terms of what you wear, who you meet, what you've said to someone. Do you know what I mean? Like you just live and learn from it all, really.
So not just in school, but in life in general.
Yeah, completely. I think if you've got to this stage, if you've got to the stage at the end of sixth form and you've got no regrets.
How utterly awful if something doesn't happen to you. If nothing, just could you imagine if nothing ever happened to you in the world?
It's true.
Once you didn't dye your hair.
You know, if you.
That's my biggest regret. That putting bleach near my hair. No.
If you didn't learn something, if you didn't feel something, if you didn't go to that play, or if you didn't listen to that music, or how awful would that be?
It doesn't even have to be big regrets. I know Miss Wild regretted, taking a load of kids to see an amateur version of The Tempest at the Marlow, because it was awful. Like, I'm never getting that time back. That was one of the worst pieces of theatre I've ever seen in my entire life. So much so, Miss Wild apologised for making me drive the minibus to it.
Marlow.
Like, it was terrible. But like,
just a disclaimer: if the Marlow is listening to this, it's all opinion.
If the Marlow are listening to this, don't put on that drama company again. Or if you're going to say it's a modern version of The Tempest, don't just dress them up in modern clothes. Like, it was really bad. That's my review.
They do the once a year pantomime, which is much better than.
Oh, there's lots of really good things on the Marlow. I'm only joking, but the whole.
But you're right. It's opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Apart from that, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Do you want to say your experience, Charlie?
Well,
Got any regrets?
I haven't really. Yeah, a lot of regrets. many regrets. Not studying is one of them. I mean, my experience of the academy and the Glassworks it's quite short really, because I haven't finished off school. I don't work here, so I can't really say what it's like to work here as a teacher. But
as a student, though, what's year 12 been like as a student?
As a student, year 12 has been a lot different music-wise, because Mr. Field has taught me since year 8, year 9 maybe, I can't remember. It's too long ago.
Oh, you're getting on so much, Charlie.
I know.
Year 9.
Year 9. So.
But you've matured so much. If you think about the performances and stuff like that, in terms of what you're learning and how you're accepting criticism or that kind of thing, those kind of things, the way that you're learning, Charlie, that's changed, surely.
Yeah. I mean, accepting criticism, I know I've improved on that.
Yeah. So there's
greatly.
growth.
I think it's something everyone struggles with, taking criticism, me especially. I don't like being told something I'm doing is bad. No one does, but it's just about...
Well, it's not things being bad, it's just this
Things
is
that
the
could
way...
be improved.
Yeah, this is the way that things could be improved. There's
Are they
nothing
not
wrong
the
with
same
that.
thing?
No?
No, not at all. And how things could be changed, because you could be, you know, you could have, so if I'm just going to put it into a music kind of point of view, you could have an amazing guitar solo, but if that's clashing with what the vocalist is doing, that's not that the guitarist is doing something bad, he's playing something, or he or she is playing something really well, but it doesn't fit, you know, so it needs to change. You know what I mean? Like, so
I like that analogy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
Definitely a music teacher. One,
Yeah.
I'll never think that from my head.
I'm sure we could put in other remits. I'm sure there's a football way of doing it. You know.
Many, probably.
Yeah. That's good though.
So, do you plan on teaching until retirement?
No.
Right, so do you know what age retirement is?
Well, for you it'd be 65, wouldn't it? And then for
Why is that? Because I'm so old that it's a different age for me.
these lovely chaps at the end.
Younger chaps.
Younger chaps.
Right, so for me, so that's drama teaching until I'm 65. And currently I am 46
That's 19 years.
with a kidney stone
You've
at the
done it
moment.
a day over 30.
I love you. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Teaching is not something that you do for the money or for the fame, because on the whole it's hard work. On the whole, you're busy. You skip lunches.
How often?
Oh, most days. On the whole, there are difficulties about it. I'm not going to say it's brilliant all the time, but the thing that keeps me going is are the children, and the impact that they have on me, and that I have on them, and the fact that I love what the knowledge that I have in my head, and sharing that with people. So I don't see that changing.
So you do plan on?
Yeah, I do. I think.
Mr. Mortimer?
I think.
Well, I'm not.
So
actually a
it
teacher, am
doesn't
I?
teach. You just make
I'm not-
sure we don't
I'm
kill
not
each other.
I'm not currently actually a teacher. Last year I was teaching a bit of English, and the plan is to become a teacher.
Of English?
Yeah, of English. Ideally, I'd have a English drama split timetable. That would be the ultimate goal, I think.
That seems like sort of
But
what you...
obviously, I'm only 23 now, and I'll be very surprised if I didn't do something else during that time. Whether if that's just a year break or a 5-year break.
Did you not take a gap year?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't do enough with it.
Oh, you've had enough breaks.
Yeah.
Get a job.
What would you like to do?
I
in your
worked the
gap
whole
year?
time, so I'm thinking again. I like the idea of teaching English as a foreign language. I really want to learn French.
So you're all going down the Miss Timbury route
So,
then?
yeah, all the Miss Jenkinson
Right,
route.
hang on. Teaching English as a foreign language,
Yeah.
but you want to learn French.
Yeah, so doing it in France.
Okay. Yeah.
Teaching English in France.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it, whether I do it or not. Obviously, Miss Jenkinson will say I'm a nightmare because I've got many ideas in my head of what I could and can't do, but I just never push myself to do them. But I will teach, but whether I do it for a lifetime, I'm not so sure. At 23, I'm still working out my own career, I think.
So when Reece was at school, he's just an innate teacher, and he used to lead my vocal warm-ups and come and help me with my other classes. So there are just people who are natural teachers. So there are some people who train to be teachers and they really shouldn't be teachers, and there are some teachers, some people who just have that it.
In speech quotes.
Yeah, and Mr. Mortimer has it, and he's really good, and he's got a very good personal way with people. You know, and he's always been very good with that way. You know.
I think the best way to be as a teacher, especially coming from the same area, same background, is be honest. Be honest with your students, be honest with the parents, and be honest with your other staff members. And that way, they'll have a more understanding of where you come from and what you're teaching. I think with that relationship, that's how it works so well.
How about you guys at the end, Miss Jenkinson, Mr. Field?
Well, so you can take this one. Do you see yourself teaching till retirement age?
Don't know. It's
That's
still quite.
68. Just
I think. Well, at the moment,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna.
so you're 31, isn't
Y-
it?
Yes.
How do you know this?
Yeah, I'm still quite new into my teaching career. I mean, like I said, I've been here 4 years, but this is, you know, Folkestone Academy is still the first school I've ever worked in. You know, before that, I was working in retail, then, you know, trying to open a recording studio.
Did it work?
What, opening a recording studio? No, it flopped. It's one of the hardest things you could really ever do is try and open a recording studio. Anyway, but yeah, I'm not. I do see myself teaching in some remit or another, but the thing is with music is it's not really staying in the same place at the moment. It's not something like maths, and this is no disrespect to maths, where maths will be maths. You know, whatever school you teach at, maths is maths. It has a certain amount of rules. That's maths. So you know, I guess for science and certain other subjects as well. Music is so evolving all the time. So much so that the music education that you guys have got or are getting is so much different to the one that was offered to me, and hence why I didn't take it. I was not interested in learning about old white dead German composers, to be honest. Like, it just wasn't really, and that was all and if that is what you want to learn about, then whatever, that's fine, but that didn't pique my interest, and that was the only thing they were offering in, like, you know, the 90s for music education.
But you know a lot about Bach and Rachmaninoff and people like that.
Yeah, because I have a music degree.
Me a thing where everything's been ripped off from Pachelbel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So it showed me that.
Yeah, but now, you know, you have so much of a wide remit, so much so, like in Key Stage 3, you're not just getting, you know, you get a bit of classical, but you get a lot of pop music, get a lot of world music. It's kind of opened up a lot further. And then you get to Key Stage 4, and then music technology is kind of shown to you as well. So, and there's music teachers like me who are a bit more forward-thinking, shall we say, who feel that all of these bases should be covered. We should respect pop music, and we should respect other traditions, and we should respect electronic elements of music as well. And there are some dinosaurs who think that we should still be praising the, air quotes here, the great composers. So wherever music education kind of goes, I guess that will dictate whether I stay teaching in schools until I retire, which is, you know, still quite a way off. Because without getting too political, we're in a government that favours the old dead, you know, old composers, and you know, and the old Western traditions of reading music, which, you know, like I said, it's fine, but it's only one element of music. It's such a wide subject, and again, it's one that's constantly evolving. It's a weird subject as well, isn't it? Because you know,
it repeats itself or not?
Does it? Oh god, that's not good.
No, in terms of like Pachelbel and.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But I mean, in terms of, so, you know, for you and piano, Ben, I can give you general musicality feedback, but in terms of your piano technique, I can't give you too much because I'm not a piano teacher. I can't play piano.
Yeah. That's how diverse the industry is.
Well, yeah, and just music in general, you know, and same if I'd, you know, whereas I can give a guitarist or a bassist or a drummer very much more specific feedback because I can play those instruments. But it's the same for, you know, a teacher who specialises in piano. Could they give you, you know, feedback on how to play guitar? But back to the question anyway. I don't know. Maybe.
If it carries on, we'll find out in a couple of minutes.
Minutes?
Yes, because we'll be that old. We'll have sat here for so long that he'll be.
Yeah. Basically, I was waffling then. So.
Well, waffling's good. It
Is
means
it?
more minutes on.
Okay.
Miss Jenkinson?
So I will start my teacher training this year, this September.
You're quite young, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 27. I'd call that young.
A mere
yeah.
babe.
A mere babe.
Babe, you're right.
You are a babe.
But it's like I'm really excited to do. But I'm going to put a different spin on it because I think that as teachers, or well, actually no, in life just generally as people, to stay doing the same thing over and over again without, challenging yourself or even enriching yourself is quite a sad thing in my opinion. And I think that when I look into my future, I hope to have a work-life balance where I'd have things that outside of my work, although I'd feel very passionate about what I do because otherwise it's a complete waste of time, that I'm doing things that enrich me and grow me and make me feel more, I don't know, more happier and more content with life. I don't know what those things are, but that's the kind of spin that I wanted to add to that question. Like Mr. Mortimer, he's teaching me at the moment all about how to
freestyle.
Betting and football and that kind of thing.
Did
And
your
obviously
bets come in?
None of them did.
I in no way endorse gambling.
Bet responsibly. When the fun's
When the fun stops, stop.
Limit yourself.
Yeah. And that.
And always choose
Bet and play.
6. Because whenever I do the family horses, both Christmases, the one that just gone and the one before, I put on number 6 and I win.
You have a family horse?
No. We gamble in the family, and I choose 6 every year, and I always win.
Horses. You have 6 horses in your family.
The lucky number 6 for you, Ben.
Lucky number 6.
Number 6.
Usually it isn't, but in that case, it is.
Right.
So that concludes part 1 of the questions.
Okay.